This 39 Dunedin News Bulletin proudly brought to you in association with Alex Campbell's Menswear.
Tonight on 39 Dunedin News, residents gather in solidarity as two people are sentenced for the manslaughter of a 3-year-old child. Why a young designer needs your help to get her collection to an influential runway in Auckland. And some performers get a chance to show off and raise money for two local charities at the same time. Good evening, Dunedin. I'm Rebecca Dupree. More than 100 people gathered in the central city this morning as part of a nationwide rally to end New Zealand's abysmal child abuse record. The march was held at the Dunedin District Court to coincide with the sentencing of the two people charged with the manslaughter of 3-year-old Moko. And organisers were happy to see so much local support.
Tears for Moko. On the streets of Dunedin, hundreds of kilometres from where 3-year-old Moko Rangotiheriri was killed, locals have gathered to march on the day his killers are sentenced. The issue of family violence in New Zealand can result in the deaths of children like Moko and tragically many others. However, Dunedin Coalition of Family Violence Coordinator Rob Thompson says there is a time and a place for anger.
Well, anger can inspire us to make a change. I'm really angry that some little child was murdered, was beaten to death. I'm really angry that so many families and individuals are suffering in our community. I'm really angry that people are dying.
March organiser Amy Telfer-Childs of the Sensible Sentencing Trust says she's pleased with the number of people who've turned out to march. She's concerned that if Moko's killers, Tanya Shayla and David Hairua, receive a sentence of manslaughter, it will be too light a punishment.
In my personal view, it doesn't fit. The initial charge of murder was correct. It met all the criteria for a murder conviction. However, behind closed doors, there was plea bargaining went on to look at them pleading guilty to a charge of manslaughter instead of murder.
Senior Constable Tony Wall of Dunedin Police walked alongside the protesters. She's pleased with the mood of the protest and says, as a police officer, she sees every aspect of family violence.
Absolutely sad. It's devastating, and the type of job that we do, it's heartbreaking. We see both sides of it. We're at the cold face, and then you've got to go home to your own kids. So it is really emotional. It's hard, but marches like this, hopefully the community can get behind it and stop this sort of thing from happening.
An estimated 200 people took part in Dunedin's march, while thousands marched nationwide at similar events. Daryl Baser, 39 Dunedin News.
Police are seeking witnesses to two separate assaults that happened in Dunedin early on Sunday morning. It's understood both incidents happened between 3 and 5 a.m. in the Albany Street area of North Dunedin. The main area police are interested in is around the Captain Cook Hotel and the Rob Roy Dairy. More than 28,000 people attended the All Blacks Wales Test match, meaning there were a lot of people in the city during the evening. And police are asking anyone with information to contact them as soon as possible. An emerging fashion designer is calling on the public to help her take the next step in her career. The young designer is getting ready to travel to Auckland to show her latest collection on the country's most prestigious runway. But before she can get started, she's got to get the funds together.
Putting pencil to paper, emerging fashion designer Julia Palm is hard at work creating a series of looks for New Zealand Fashion Week. But before she can jet off, she has to raise the money needed to make an entirely new collection and get to Auckland.
As fashion moves so fast, I really want to make a new one because my old collection will be a year old by the time Fashion Week comes around. And as a person, I change a lot, and I just really want to extend my design practice.
Palm is one of 3 Otago Polytechnic graduates chosen to show at the August event. Her previous collection was based on her family history and utilised human hair, PVC and iron-on transfers. For the new work, she's planning to continue with a similar concept, with the collection bolstered by a handful of collaborations.
I've got a really exciting collaboration coming up with Ted Whittaker, a local videographer. So we're going to be making a whole new video to go alongside the collection. And that's something that I always love doing with my work, is collaborating. And I'm also working with a local artist as well to use her photographs as a print on fabric.
A local representative from Boosted is helping brainstorm ideas for the campaign, which includes setting up a week-long exhibition in a George Street window. Palm says once the fundraiser is off the ground, she'll finally be able to think ahead to what Fashion Week will be like.
It's a huge opportunity, so just to bring my designs to the biggest fashion event in New Zealand is just going to boost my career hugely. And I've already met some amazing people who are willing to meet up with me and help me, or come to the show or style a photo shoot while I'm in Auckland. And yeah, it's just going to really open lots of doors for me, which is so exciting.
Palm is aiming to raise $4,000 in order to pay those helping her, cover material costs and buy airfares to Auckland. While she says it's hard to find that money, she's hopeful the community will pull through and help her realise her runway dream. Ruby McAndrew, 39, Dunedin News.
The Dunedin City Council is welcoming the announcement that the Compact of Mayors, of which it's a member, has joined with its European counterpart. The main aim of the multinational covenant is to tackle climate change. Mayor Dave Kell says he's pleased with the partnership as it recognises the need for urgent action. The Compact of Mayors was launched 2 years ago by the United Nations, while the Covenant of Mayors began in 2008. The new initiative helps strengthen the climate goals of almost 120 countries, representing 600 million people. A host of local musicians took to the stage at the weekend in aid of 2 local charities. The inaugural fanfare concert was put on by the Rotary Club of Dunedin to raise money for the Southern Heritage Trust and keep Dunedin beautiful. And it gave some young performers a chance to show off.
Open up and say la. The town hall was alive with the sound of music at the weekend for the inaugural fanfare fundraiser concert, coordinated by the Rotary Club of Dunedin. Club President Grant Chirnside says putting the show together was a team effort, and he hints that it might happen again.
This is the first year, and it celebrates 150 years of Dunedin's history, but the Rotary Club of Dunedin's been around for 93 years.
Acts range from Kapa Haka Group He Waka Katoia to the RSA Choir and Dunedin sound stalwarts the Verlaines.
A range of Dunedin musicians, including the Oxo Cubans, the Dunedin Harmony Chorus, the RSA Choir, and of course Norman, the organ.
One of the more heartwarming acts on a wet Sunday evening was the Dunedin Kids Ukulele Jam Band with B-flat 6, whose version of the Bobby McFerrin tune Don't Worry Be Happy drew much applause. Any event featuring Dunedin music would not be complete without the City of Dunedin Pipe Band, with the skirl of pipes and snappy snare drums ricocheting around the town hall. Daryl Baser, 39 Dunedin News.
Still to come on 39 Dunedin News, change awaits the Otago Community Trust and hundreds decide to take a dip in the waters off the Otago coast.
Generally in the winter time, one of my favourite sights is in the evening is looking out over the lights of the city and seeing the harbour absolutely glassy calm. And I think that we've just got a fantastic environment here in Dunedin. It's a great place to live and I'm very happy to be here.
Every season, we're proud to dress the region. Alex Campbell Menswear, it fits.
Wooltech have the experience and the expertise to supply a wide range of high-quality New Zealand-made products and can manufacture customised products to meet your individual requirements. Wooltech, great people, great products, great service.
Thinking of services for older people? Think Enliven. Enliven is a service philosophy where people come first. Enliven is about choice, activity, relationships, respect and security. You can enliven your health, your friendships, your life, no matter what your age. For more information, go to psotago.org.nz or call 4777 115.
Yeah, we're heading down George Street, down B, tip of the hat to the people we meet in southern skies. Take your place, take your place, take your place in the world. Take your place, take your place in the world.
Pregnant? Need to talk? 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. Pregnancy counselling services are here to help. It's free, it's confidential. Call us now on 0800 773 462.
Favourite part of winter? I like fashion in winter, I like dressing up in winter, I love having scarves, and I do the same thing for my house. So yeah, it's just that layering effect, isn't it, of how we work, really.
Welcome back. The ramifications of Britain's exit from the European Union is creating a lot of uncertainty for New Zealand markets. However, Trade Minister Todd McClay has assured exporters New Zealand's economic relationship with the UK and Europe will remain the same for the foreseeable future. He's currently seeking meetings with fellow trade ministers from both the UK and Europe. The New Zealand dollar fell to a 10-day low against the greenback after the British public's vote, stoking uncertainty in financial markets. And on that note, let's take a look at those markets. The NZX 50 has closed the day up 19 points. It's now at 6,687. The Dow Jones is down 610 points. To the exchange rates, and the Kiwi dollar is unchanged against the pound, but we are down against the other currencies we follow. Otago Community Trust staff are getting set to welcome a new member into the fold following the retirement of one long-serving board member. Trust Chief Executive Barbara Bridger joins us now to talk about the new appointment and what's coming up for the organisation. Good evening.
Good evening.
Now tell us about the recent changes to the board.
So one of our trustees has finished her two-term appointment, so that she's been appointed for 8 years, two terms of 4 years, and so she's due to retire, and we have a new trustee who's just been appointed. Yes.
How are new appointments decided?
Well, all of our trustees are appointed by the Associate Minister of Finance. So currently the Honourable Paula Bennett has appointed this last trustee to our board, and that's through a process with the Department of Internal Affairs.
Tell us about the person you're farewelling.
So Nolene Munro has been with the Trust for 8 years. She is an investment professional, so she's brought a lot of skills and expertise to the board, and so we were obviously very sorry to see her term come to an end, but in preparation for that we've been working hard with the Department of Internal Affairs to find someone else with a similar skill set.
Are you looking forward to having somebody new on board with fresh ideas?
Well, yes, I mean, it's always sad to say farewell to someone who you've worked closely with for a period of time, but it'll be exciting to see John come on board and bring with him his skill set. I'm sure that will add value to the board.
And the time of a trustee is limited?
Yes, they're appointed for a 4-year term initially and can be reappointed for a second term.
Okay,
yes.
and who decides that reappointment?
It is entirely decided by the Department of Internal Affairs and the Associate Minister of Finance. So,
right.
We have very little say in who comes onto our board, but we've been very lucky with the calibre of people we've got on. Yes.
Now, the Trust has given out quite a large number of grants so far this year. Is that going to continue?
Well, it is. We have a budget of just on $6 million for this year, so returning to a slightly pre-GFC budget regime. And we have 2 major funding rounds for large grants, and the next one closes on the 30th of September. But every month we do assess regular grants, and so we will continue to do that, yes.
What is the main focus of the Trust at the moment?
Well, we have a couple of areas that are priority areas for us, and one of them is regional cycleways. So you may have heard recently that we, together with Central Lakes Trust and the government, have joined forces to see the Central Otago tracks and trails linked up. So that's going to bring $26 million worth of new tracks and trails into the Central Otago region. We also invest quite heavily into the Warm Homes program, so providing insulation to homes that need it. Obviously there's quite a few of those in Dunedin and Otago. And youth health and wellbeing is another major priority area for us as well.
Have you been seeing an increase in grant applications over the past few years?
Not necessarily, but they change a bit. We do have a few peaks and a few troughs over the years, but on balance there's about 400 applications that get approved per annum by the trustees.
And how are those applications prioritised?
Well, they're processed on the way in which they come into the Trust, but the larger grants are processed just twice a year, as I mentioned before. And when we look to prioritise grants, we look to those that fit with our own priority areas, so warm homes, cycleways, rural health and youth health and wellbeing. So those grants get a bit more of a positive outlook, if you like, or a viewpoint from the trustees. Yeah.
Otago Community Trust Chief Executive Barbara Bridger, thanks so much for your time.
Thank you for having me.
After the break on 39 Dunedin News, councillors prepare to adopt the annual plan and hundreds endure a polar blast to raise money for life-saving volunteers.
Emu oil has been used for centuries to support joint mobility and tired muscles. Also helpful for supporting healthy skin. Available as oil or in capsules. Go to www.silverhorn.co.nz to order emu oil today.
Thinking of services for older people? Think Enliven. Enliven is a service philosophy where people come first. Enliven is about choice, activity, relationships, respect and security. You can enliven your health, your friendships, your life, no matter what your age. For more information, go to psotago.org.nz or call 4777 115.
We're at 25 Moreau Place at Dog with Towers Cafe and Bar. So we take coffee very seriously We do what's called contract roasting, so we're creating our own roasting profile and then doing our own blends. We're really focused on the craft of what we're doing. You know, we're going back, instead of going on mass-produced sort of cheap things, we're taking the time to really craft what we're making. Make it so anyone can come here and have a feed and be able to get something they're able to eat or that they want to eat as well. You're kind of getting a taste of cafes from all around the world when you come here.
She's 21 metres long with a 6.7 metre beam. She can support diving, seafloor mapping and sampling, deep water measurements, and has onboard laboratories. She has a range of 1,000 nautical miles, which means the Polaris 2 can take your studies further than you ever thought possible. My name's Will Raymond, and this is my place in the world.
Take your place in the world.
Wooltech have the experience and the expertise to supply a wide range of high-quality New Zealand-made products and can manufacture customised products to meet your individual requirements. Wooltech, great people, great products, great service.
Every reason, every season, we're proud to dress the region. Alex Campbell Menswear, it fits.
As the nights draw in and it gets colder, people have always turned towards stories to keep them entertained in the winter. They illuminate the darkness, they entertain you, and they tickle your imagination. Whether you're reading, horrific crime novels, thrilling fantasy novels, mind-bending sci-fi, perhaps you're into the latest literary sensations, or illuminating tales of modern life. Whatever you like, we've got it here.
Welcome back. The City Council met today to adopt its annual plan after the 6 months of discussion, submissions and debate. The public were given a last chance to have their say on the plan, with a handful of people taking the opportunity to discuss the dog control bylaw as well as freedom camping. The council has agreed to a rates increase of 2.97% for the coming year. That increase was minimised by councillors taking advantage of a $1 million underspend from the previous year. The plan was formally adopted this evening.
Down the middle of the page section.
The St Clair Surf Lifesaving Club is gearing up for summer thanks to donations from the community. Hundreds of people swarmed the beach at the weekend for the club's annual Polar Plunge fundraiser, and the event proved Dunedin residents will go far to support their local volunteers.
A chilly countdown and they were off. Hundreds of people braved the freezing temperatures at St Clair Beach for the city's annual Polar Plunge fundraiser. St Clair Surf Lifesaving Club chairman James Coombs says he's impressed with the amount of people coming out despite the bad weather.
I think it's just good seeing the enthusiasm for people to be at the beach, particularly during winter, and actually experiencing part of Dunedin that they probably don't spend a lot of time in during the winter months.
The water temperature was a bone-chilling 8 degrees, but it wasn't cold enough to keep these brave souls away, with many taking the opportunity to dress up.
A bit freezing, to be honest. First out there, I felt like I had to do it like Braveheart, like full guns blazing. But
oh, mate, it's pretty warm.
That was awesome.
The colder the weather, the warmer the water.
Yeah, I don't know if we'll do it again, but
yeah, totally worth that.
Yeah,
won't do it again.
Hot food was on hand to ensure everyone was able to keep warm after their winter dip. Firefighters were also on the scene with warm water for those taking part.
It's kind of just a human nature sort of thing. People enjoy the experience of doing something a bit different. It's a bit of a thrill ride for them, I guess, and it's pretty short. I mean, all they have to do is run out and then they get the hot water from the fire truck.
Money raised from the event will help the surf club with buying new surf patrol equipment ahead of the warmer months. Henry McMullen, 39, Dunedin News.
Oh, brave souls. Well, now recapping tonight's top stories on 39 Dunedin News. Hundreds of residents have marched in Dunedin's Justice for Moko event, coinciding with the sentencing of the 3-year-old's killers. An up-and-coming fashion designer is crowdsourcing for her next collection ahead of her debut at New Zealand Fashion Week later this year. And performers of all types have taken to the stage for the inaugural Fanfare benefit concert in aid of 2 local charities. Well, it's time now to find out what's going to be in Tuesday's Otago Daily Times, and we're joined by Phil Somerville. Good evening.
Yes, hi Rebecca. Travel pages on a Tuesday. The main one's written by former City Councillor and Museum Chairwoman Dame Elizabeth Hannon, and it's all about a trip she and her husband Murray did to America, and what a big surprise Houston was, and all the attraction of Houston, so look out for that. The other travel page is on Sri Lanka and elephants and wildlife and stuff like that. Sobering report from the University of Otago, that's a study there, claims that even moderate drinking has health risks and cancer risks, so look for that. Also, a former manager of a health centre came up today for stealing $750,000, which is
Goodness
quite
me.
a heap. Yeah.
Details on that in tomorrow's ODT, plus more. Thank you, Phil. Time now for local weather.
This 39 Dunedin News weather update proudly brought to you in association with Silverhorn's Emu Oil.
And here is today's city view. It's taken of a waterfall in the Ross Creek area. Around the city at 3 o'clock today, good to see the sun, but still fairly cool. 10 degrees for the central city, 14 at the Gardens and 13 out on the Tyree. Well, to the situation, and a cooler southwest flow is moving quite quickly over us, but it will die out as a ridge of high pressure, a weak one at that, pushes over the south tomorrow and Wednesday. To the forecast for the main towns in the lower South Island for tomorrow, fine with westerlies in Invercargill, a high of 10 there. Fine for both Gore and Alexandra, and some westerlies with a bit of cloud around for Te Anau and 11 degrees. And it's going to be fine for Queenstown, Oamaru, Wanaka and Twizel, highs of around 10 or 11 degrees. In Dunedin tonight, some cloud with an overnight low of 4. Tomorrow, fine and sunny with light sou'westers and frosts possible in sheltered places at night with a high of 11. And on Wednesday, sunny periods and light sou'westers with 10 degrees. To the Otago Pallet Fires tidal and fishing information. High tide tomorrow morning is at 10 o'clock. Low tide follows at 10 to 5. And fishing conditions look pretty good tomorrow morning, especially at 2 to 7. And that's for Monday. You again.
This 39 Dunedin News Bulletin proudly brought to you in association with Alex Campbell's Menswear.
Supporting local content so you can see more of New Zealand on air.